Hi, this is Harsh, and I'm going to talk about SmartMBA, our course, and what's so cool about it. So, essentially, MBA in today's context is when the world is changing, the business world is changing, transforming digitally. What we need is essentially people who are able to drive this business wise. And what typically, however, happens in a typical MBA situation is that you have a lot of bookish knowledge. You have very little understanding of how the real world works. You have very few live projects that help you understand and experiment with things. So what we do here is rather than keeping things very bookish, we make it interesting. We make it real world because it's being done. The course is being created and given by people, not professors, but people who are professionals, right? Who have been there, done that. Whether they are top executives in companies like Uber, Google, Flipkart, etc., or they are startup founders like myself who have done serial entrepreneurs, who've done serial startups and who have created companies like top 30 startups of India, etc. So the point is that unless until you really have the clarity in terms of experimenting with, for example, I'll give you an example. Um, so why is coding powerful? Why is engineering powerful? Because the ability to code makes it possible for someone to create products, experiment with things, address the problem of the user, and get a feedback also via online product that is created, could be an app or any other thing. And that's how they're able to refine it over time and actually create a lot of value in the process. And that's why you see a lot of startup founders are coders, right? And similarly, there's a very powerful thing which MBAs can do, again, to do with customers, right? Just like a coder is creating product, targeting the customer, finding what are the loopholes, where is the customer need not being served properly, and let us create a better version of solution for the customer. Similarly, for a marketer, for an MBA rather, it's so cool that they can experiment because it's an online world now, right? So they can experiment with what kind of a message, what kind of a product, what kind of a combination of product and marketing would appeal to the customer. What are the needs that are missing? What are the messages which are not being presented? And there are a lot of examples that we can talk about. So I'll quickly talk about one simple example of a product that I created. Um, so I have this background from mutual fund industry, and I realized that mutual fund are essentially targeting the savvy investors, right? People who have a clue, who have a clarity of where to invest, what to invest, etc. But most of the people, which is 98% of the audience, and that's why mutual fund does not have that kind of penetration in the market, right? Are clueless, are not savvy investors. They are regular people who get scared, if at all, from investing because that's a technical thing. Markets go up and down. Your savings could be lost, and there's a risk associated, etc. So how do you make it simple for the user? So we created a product which was keeping it super simple in terms of getting the basics right in terms of if you are a user who's looking for an aggressive or a moderate investment, this is broadly the direction that you can go for, and this is the kind of return you expect. And then we created a platform like Uber, wherein you are online and you're getting a broad level idea, but then you'll be connected to a physical, approved, financial advisor who will come over and explain the product to you. And that's how we scaled pretty well. In fact, we created a thing called Smart SIP, which was also a product, again, simplifying the product of investing for a regular user. And it's been taken by a lot of leading mutual fund companies and distributors. And Smart SIP, if you Google, you would see a lot of people who are using that product and which has been created by us. So the point I'm trying to say is that the future is pretty interesting. The user is at a certain place wherein there are certain needs which are not being met properly, and that's the innovation and transformation which is happening across industries, right, digitally, and that's what we mean by that. So by giving examples here, by making you think like a founder, by making you work like an entrepreneur, experiment with live scenarios, we are able to help you get that power of clarity as to how to apply a certain skill and see what is happening with the user and be able to come up with a better solution. And that's what we're doing at Smart MBA, among other things. So this is less theory and a lot of live real world experience. and something that you can apply online. We help you with live internship with leading startups as well, and leading companies, and that helps you put you forward in terms of when you're looking for an interview and a job interview. You also are able to showcase a talent in terms of how you have done something, how have you created value in maybe a small sample, because uh, believe you me, the companies are not looking at scalable solutions really from students earlier on. What they're looking at is approach. Have you been able to apply some unique perspective, some industry issue, or something or the other, which has created value in the long run, right? And that's what they're going to help you with, scale better when you join them. And that's what they're looking for, not just can you answer these three things that you've learned in your marketing class. You have to show that you applied something, right? And that's where we come in handy. We are focusing on skills, we are focusing on live learnings, and we are focusing on less bookish knowledge and more live experiences. And it's at a far lesser price than a typical MBA. So you're going to be in a position wherein you actually are able to showcase your talent and pay far less for a course, and move strongly in your career, the digital future focused career. So I'll be very happy and excited to take any queries that you have. You can put it in the link below, or you can click on the button enroll on SmartSip, the next batch, and I'll be very glad to see you there and get started on this. Thank you.